Test 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Could I ask that everyone rise and salute the flag, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mr. Lemonna? Here. Mr. Lopes? Here. Mr. O'Brien? Here. Mr. Pelton is absent. And Chairman Tucker? Here. A quorum is present. First item on this evening's agenda, A2314, 1 Revere Beach Boulevard, LLC, requesting multiple variances to allow the appellant to construct a 6-level mixed-use 35-unit building to adjoin the pre-existing apartment building at 1 Revere Beach Boulevard.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Joseph Cottogio, 1 Sprague Street, Revere, representing the applicant 1 Revere Beach Boulevard. I had corresponded with the clerk's office and with the chairman earlier this week, or late last week, with a request that this matter be tabled for an additional month until the next meeting. At the previous meeting, the board indicated the necessity for confirmation or information from the state on a deed restriction on a lot that we feel is not part of this application, but the board believes it's important to determine. I know it sought an opinion from the city solicitor's office. I'm not sure that the information that was returned gave any real concrete guidance, but be that as it may, we have taken it upon ourselves to contact the departments in the Commonwealth that were responsible for granting us the prior owner that land to get a determination. They have replied asking that we provide them with our application, all the corresponding information, maps, and proposals. We have done that. They are reviewing it now. We're trying to set up a meeting. They haven't indicated that there is a need for a meeting yet, but they haven't gotten back to us either way. We believe that confirmation is important to this matter, and we'd ask that the matter be tabled until we are able to obtain that information. Also, just as an aside, my client has done available tonight. Mr. Lopez is away on vacation. He is the developer, has all the information on the actual construction should that come up, so we're requesting that this matter be tabled till the next scheduled meeting.
Well, you're based on your correspondence to us on Monday at 3:15 p.m.
Yes.
Regarding the continuance. I'm satisfied with what the city solicitor told us, that it's not in our hands. If we were to do a vote, it would be in the state's hands to
Yes.
go backwards. So I am asking that this be heard tonight. There's several people in the audience that's going to want to speak. And it's an open meeting. There really wasn't time to notify anybody of a continuance, and all of these people are here. So I would ask that the meeting be taken up tonight.
With that in mind, we made our presentation at the initial meeting. We've also represented that Lot 6A, the lot in question, is not part of this application. The application stands on its own merits. We presented the information that there are 33 residential, 1 or 2, depending on the square footage, commercial. There are 29 parking spaces that are a portion are associated and go along with this. Those 33 units, nearly a 1-to-1 ratio. And we would ask that if it is up for a vote tonight, that it be voted favorably.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seeing that this is a public hearing, I'll ask if there's any other proponents. Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Opponents, if you have already spoken in the past, that's all documented. And if anyone else wants to speak on it, I'll welcome that. But I'll first offer the microphone to the ward councilor. So Joanne, you're welcome to come up and speak.
Thank you. Joanne McKenna, Ward 1 Councilor. I am the Ward Councilor of this property that wants to be built. I just want to say that I couldn't make the last meeting. I was in Florida, and I just want to say that I was very upset that Mr. Cottogio spoke in my behalf and sounded like I was in favor of this when I was never in favor of this. The first thing I said to the developer, I said to him, the landlord, I said, is it going to block the view of the loft? And he said no, because the building's tilted. So when I saw what he was planning on doing, I said, I'm against this. I'm totally against this. And then I was invited to the loft. Some residents, actually 9 residents, allowed me to go in their condos and look at the view from their windows. And as you can see, I passed out pictures because I took pictures from the building, and it will block their view. And I know there's no ordinances that say that you can't vote on a blocked view, but these people paid $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 because they wanted a view of Revere Beach. And now this landlord's going to come in and block their view. So I don't think it's fair. I really don't think it's fair. And I don't think, I don't think the space is right to have this gigantic building put on an elderly building as condos. Let's put it somewhere else. We're trying to use every single piece of little land that we have to develop, and it's not right. We got to think about quality of life and hardship for these people. So you're going to put a building there, you're going to allow a building to be there, and so these people are going to try to sell. That's hardship. They're not going to be able to get what they paid for. So I'm asking this council to vote this down. Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to add anything, please state your name and address for the record. Press the microphone to turn it on.
There we go. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Dylan Brown, and I'm with the law office of Marcus Rico, Emmer and Brooks, located in Braintree, Massachusetts, and our firm represents the Surfside Condominium, which is a 48-unit residential condominium located at 10 Ocean Avenue and directly across from the proposed project. My colleague, Tom Aylesworth, appeared last month to oppose the project, primarily because the application doesn't meet the legal requirements necessary for the issuance of a single variance. Under Massachusetts law and the Revere zoning ordinance, it's clear that a variance can only be issued when there's a substantial hardship. A substantial hardship is warranted when there's something so unique about the soil shape or topography of the land in question that renders that parcel, completely undevelopable, absent zoning relief. And through the application, the developer claims that he suffered a hardship because the existing apartment building located on that property prohibits him from adding additional buildings to that building or actually maximizing the development that could be developed on that site. And by no means does that warrant the issue of a variance because it's not related to the land, soil conditions, topography. Rather, it's clear that 35 additional apartments are being proposed in order to maximize the profit of the development. But while the application should be denied for that reason alone, the project, as the ZBA has noted, violates the property's deed restrictions. Now, One Revere Beach Boulevard is comprised of 2 separate parcels. It's Lot 6A and, Lot 6 and Lot 6A. Lot 6 is the apartment building. Lot 6A is the adjacent and additional parking lot, both of which were owned by the developer. Lot 6A was formerly owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as the applicant has noted, but when the state conveyed that parcel out, it placed certain restrictions on that property. The first is that Lot 6A, or the parking lot, can only be used for parking purposes. The other is that Lot 6A cannot be used in any way so as to increase the floor area ratio of Lot 6, which would be the apartment building. Any violation of those restrictions would warrant a reversion of that parcel back to the state. And that's explicitly set forth into the developer's deed to Lot 6A. So what that deed restriction says is that the abutting parking lot parcel cannot be used in any way whatsoever in order to increase the size of the current apartment building that's located on 6A. But despite that, that's exactly what the applicant is proposing to do here. Specifically, the variance application relies upon the additional parking spaces on Lot 6A in order to increase and maximize the number of apartments that can be developed or added to the apartment building. Not only is that, said differently, the purpose of the deed restrictions was essentially to assure that Lot 6A, there's no additional buildings being constructed on that. And not only is this project a complete disregard for the intent of the deed restrictions, but if this application is approved, it's very likely that the state will warrant a reversion of that Lot 6A parcel back to the Commonwealth. And for those reasons, the condominium trust would request that this application be denied. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other opponents? If it's not, if you're repeating yourself, no, but if you're adding something, by all means.
Okay, I do want to shout out that we are all residents of this building, and there's a lot of us here today that are also, if you wanted to count hands again, we could have people raise their hands.
And your name and address, please.
I'm sorry, my name's Ryan Stewart. I live at 10 Ocean Avenue in Revere. So, do you want to count? Awesome. Okay. I just want to say that regardless of Mr. Cottogio's previous comments, we have never been contacted to discuss the project. And in previous discussions, Mr. Chairman, you had some pointed questions around the parking spots and ensuring that they would be reserved for the Atlantic Tower residents. We feel compelled to mention that some of the spots in both of our lots and the Ryder Building are being used for a park and fly operation today, and that now we have enough information and evidence to actually submit that to 311 for review. In our previous conversations, Mr. Cottogio also claimed hardship by literally listing the reasons that would qualify for hardship, but he never really explained to us why the soil, grade, or shape of his property would force his client to build to the lot lines without severe hardship. When I look at that diagram, I see a perfectly square box that could easily be shrunk. As we've mentioned before, the 36 units are not going to put a dent in the housing crisis, and all of these things above lead us to believe that his motivations here are, again, for pure profit and not a means to better or improve our community. As our lawyers have argued, this type of motive is not what approved variances are for. Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to add, please state your name and address for the record.
Laura Libby, 10 Ocean Ave, Unit 410. I'm also on the Board of Trustees, as is Ryan. There were a lot of things discussed last time. I just wanted to remind everyone that we do like the revitalization of the area. We see a lot of great things happening. We don't feel the developer's working in good faith. We are worried about the environmental, health, and safety impacts of this development. We're concerned about the capacity of all of our city infrastructure to support this new development. We bought our homes with the existing zoning in place. A building was already existing on that lot. No zoning changes since I purchased in 2016 have happened, and so there would be no reason for me to expect that anything would change on that lot. The spirit of the release deed and property transfer should be taken into consideration, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and address for the record. Press.
My name is Ziad, and I live in Ziad El Taji. I live in 10 Ocean, Unit 311. So first of all, according to the Zoning Board of Appeals application for special permit form, the developer is actually is supposed to present data that tends to indicate that the public convenience and welfare will be substantially substantiated through this development, and we haven't seen any of that. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And in addition to that, I wanted to supplement that, this is going to create a tremendous amount of traffic going in and out of our building as it is with the recent 3 developments that have come up during COVID has become more difficult. And so we're adding an additional building which is going to create more traffic congestion as we know it. In addition to that, over the last year and a half, we've had at least 3 instances where the water, where our access to our water has been halted for close to an entire day because of pipes bursting on Ocean Avenue. And those pipes, when we spoke to the construction site manager, we were told that they were aging and that adding all these constructions has put on more pressure on the water system. So I wanted you to take that into account. My previous neighbor, she mentioned environmental pollution. It's also going to create a lot of indoor pollution. We've had a significant amount of dust in our units as a result of the recent construction in the neighborhood, and this is going to create even more indoor pollution and air pollution for us. Additionally, we've been recently told that a restaurant nearby, which is called Cut 21, would have parking and transportation to customers to and from the restaurant, and we've never seen evidence of that. So we're adding another commerce in the neighborhood with potentially no access to parking. In addition to that, we also are concerned with shadow effects. So people that are going to the beach, they want to enjoy the sun, and you're adding more construction, which is preventing them from actually walking along the boardwalk, which would see them exposed to the sun. So it goes against the purpose of going to a beach when you have shadow effects that are impacting your overall experience. In addition to that, when I came to buy my property at 10 Ocean Avenue, it wasn't an easy achievement because not every mortgage company was willing to give out mortgages for a building where almost half of the units are up for rent. As you know, some mortgage
I just have to ask you to stay to what's relevant to the Board of Appeals. That's not
Yeah.
relevant to us as far as rental versus owner occupied. So
Okay.
please just stay
Yeah.
to what's relevant to the Board of Appeals.
Yeah, that's fair. So with the parking situation as it is, the environmental pollution, the indoor pollution, and the fact that we haven't seen any evidence of this development actually providing any welfare or benefits to the community, I wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents? I would ask for a raise of hands for all that are opposed that were not listed last time, So if you were here last month, please don't, we'll just add to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 additional people. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I respond to 2 points, please? Okay. First of all, with regard to views, I believe it's well established that interference with views or lack of views is not anywhere considered to be a hardship in denying an application. It's a well-established, there's the well-established case law on that. Also, beyond that, this is an indication that shows that the loft direct view will not be interfered with at all. The yellow outline is where the building is proposed to go. Their building faces directly out to the right side of the beach. So they would have to be interfered with on the lead angle to have any kind of views, if views were a reason to deny, which it is not.
That's irrelevant, but yes.
Beyond that, there was some confusion by my brother's representation that this will, thank you, that this will in some way trigger Lot 6A. In fact,
That again is irrelevant for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, because it is exactly the opposite. The reason why we are here is to avoid triggering Lot 6A by asking for the variance on the parking. 29 spaces, 33 units. Thank you.
Okay. I believe that picture was provided to us already, so we have that picture. Okay. This is a tough one because a lot of good points have been brought up by the abutters, by the attorney, and speaking with our own city solicitor. It's very difficult to find that a deficiency in the size, area, and width frontage of this lot are not circumstances relating to soil conditions or topography of the land would satisfy a prerequisite for a variance. So Joe, I don't, this is a very tough one. You've really failed to establish the shape of the lot was caused for a hardship, and the applicant claims hardship was due to the applicant's own doing by purchasing this property. So I would ask that if you want to answer those, that it's,
It is the same topography as every other development that is down there. There is a steep slope that comes off the beach, that crosses over onto Ocean Avenue. It makes it unique. It makes it a unique lot that other than anything else that would not require a variance. In other words, other lots that have been granted, similar variances have been granted them on the same application, the same circumstance, with even less parking. So there's an established precedence as to what consists of a hardship. There is also indication that it is not necessarily just due to soil conditions, which are unique down the beach, topography, which is unique to this lot, or shape, which is affected by the existing building. There are options to increase the size of the existing building. They are not practical. They are not wanted by the city, even though they would be allowed. So that the ordinances as well create a hardship by requiring, again, by requiring that the setbacks be presented when the board in the city has regularly allowed lot line to lot line on Ocean Avenue, on Revere Beach. So there are hardships, there are uniquenesses to this lot. There are precedents set, there are conditions here. The application, the construction will not interfere with traffic. It will not interfere with dust. It will not interfere with water. In fact, one of the conditions that site plan requested, should this go forward, is that we improve the water line. So there would actually be the benefit that the gentleman before said was not present. The water line would be improved. We would have an upgrade to the existing building. We would have an advancement to the residences down the beach. And again, it is in line with what has been established and what has been allowed. So I would say that there is precedence, there is hardship, and our application does meet all of the qualifications. Thank you.
members, if you wish to speak on this, I have given my dissertation. I think there's 6 factors here that are pretty much cut and dry, but if you wish to speak on it, you please do so.
Yeah, me personally, Michael, and audience and members, I'd like to see this resolved amicably. So I'm in favor of a continuance and go back to the drawing board and go back to the people that live behind the building to try to come up with a resolution, downsize, whatever is going to resolve this issue. Because like Michael said, there's a lot of issues here to be taken up. And to be taken up in a half hour, 45 minutes, it's a lot to absorb. I mean, I'd like to find more information out personally. I don't know how the members feel about it.
So would you like to make a motion for a continuance? Please do so.
Yes, I would.
There's a motion on the floor for a continuance. We would ask for a roll call, please.
Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant a continuance of this matter to the next meeting? It's going to be July 26th. Mr. Lemonna? No. No. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Yes. Mr. O'Brien? Yes. Yes. Mr. Pelton is absent. And Chairman Tucker?
No.
No, this matter shall not be continued.
So, what is the wish of the members? I have listed the ZBA, as far as my concern, my thing would be that a deficiency in the size, area, width, or frontage of the lot are not circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of the land would satisfy the statutory prerequisite for a variance. And this is a case law that Mitchell versus the City of Revere has brought to the courts. Also, I find that the applicant has failed to establish the shape of the lot was a cause of hardship, because the applicant is claiming hardship when he purchased the land, the property, with the existing structure on it. The ZBA, again, the applicant has argued only personal hardship as a need for a variance, and there's case law on that. The applicant claims and proposes the project would be desirable by creating additional apartment units, but the ZBA would find that that does not rise to the level of a hardship. So I would ask that this be denied, and I would ask for a roll call, please.
A yes vote will grant the variance, a no vote will deny the variance. Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant the relief requested? Mr. Lemonna? No. No. Mr. Lopes? No. Mr. O'Brien? No. Mr. Pelton is absent, and Chairman Tucker?
No.
No, the variance has been denied. Next
We can
matter
go
on
on to the next calendar item number.
Next matter on the agenda is A2319. This is a special permit. Shahook Ali, 43 Emmanuel Street, requesting a special permit from the ZBA in accordance with revised ordinances section 17-40040 to enable the appellant to modify and extend a non-conforming single-family structure by constructing proposed additions to the front and rear of the existing structure at 43 Emmanuel Street.
Up to the microphone, press the button, and state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. I'm from 43 Emmanuel Revere.
I'm sorry, could I just ask for a 1-minute recess so everyone can vacate, please? Could the last person please close the door as you exit? I would appreciate that. That would be useful. Thank you very much. Okay,
Yes, sir. I am here for 43 Emmanuel Street, Revere, Massachusetts, for extend the front side of the house and back. And I have a picture and neighborhood, and already have extended the neighbor.
okay, I believe that you already presented the pictures to us in your packet? Am I
Yes.
correct? Yes, okay. So we already have these pictures that when you filed your application?
No.
Okay, you would have had to submit them 7 days in advance to us if you wanted them heard at this meeting. That's part of our requisites here. So is there anything else you wish to add?
Actually, have a two bedroom is very small, so that's why I've extended. I have two kids and one mother, and I visit them after 1 week or two. So that's why I make decision to for variant for extend the house, because I'm paying rent for other place.
You're paying rent for another place for,
For the kids, they're living.
okay. So I visited your home. This is the, now, is this the home that do you have a picture of your house right now with the
Yes.
side? If you present that to the clerk for a second, please. Okay, so this is a picture that's a little bit more clear, but, and that's pretty much up to date. So this is the home where there is currently a concrete parking pad to the left of the house. Yes, sir. With the fence, and then you have some shrubbery that goes down along the chain link fence, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on the plans, it shows that this lot is 18 foot wide for the parking, I believe. Am I? That's the big one? Okay, good. That's good to see. So 9 by 13 and a half, and it goes 17. It actually, I think, is,
This is parking.
okay, where this is a public hearing, I would ask if there's any other proponents in the audience that are in favor. Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Anyone opposed to this? Any? There is a drawing, if you'd care to look at the drawing, and I'll continue in speaking.
Up to the porch.
Now, is this your ward, Joanne? No, this is, oh, did you have a community meeting? Did you speak to all the community, all your neighbors?
No, sir, I know, all the time when I go there, I know see outside, nobody.
Okay, so you didn't speak to the ward council? I believe that's John Powers, right? That would be Emmanuel, is this John Powers, Emmanuel Street near St. Anthony's? I think it goes up to there, so that would be a John Powers. Okay. Yeah,
The house is.
but he is answering his phone, so if someone reaches out to him, he does have his phone. I had a concern with this having the existing shed in the back. Am I correct? There's a shed in the backyard?
Yeah.
And then you have the bulkhead that's there going down to the cellar that's been capped. There's a white bulkhead in the back. Are you familiar with what I'm stating? Do you understand what I was saying? So if you could just elaborate that, Tim?
Oh, yeah, it's
Okay.
it's inside.
And you want to go on top of that and extend that side of the house, right?
The side of the house, I have a space there almost 5 feet and going to the, where the, behind the house.
Well, if
Have
you
a-
extend the house, are you removing that shed?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that shed would be gone?
yes.
To be relocated, or relocated or removed? Where could you locate it in the yard? You want to take that and put that shed somewhere else in the property?
Just have throw.
So you're not having a
Yes.
shed? Okay, so the shed is gone. What? Well, I'll make that a condition. And currently, you can almost fit 2 cars in the front there, 2 parking spaces?
One have one side already the concrete there. The other side, I don't know it's mentioned or not, but only one side.
So you only have 1 space for a 2-family, you want it to be
One family, yeah.
a 1-family and you're adding to the front of it to expand the living space? in
Yeah.
the- For like a living room, or is that going to expand for bedroom?
Exact front where is the porch, there is exactly next house, somebody extend already, so that's why I'm going to all front the house extended, like 8 feet. So still I have a parking there.
You could have 2 parking spaces there, but if you extend the house 8 feet, you wouldn't be allowed. If you're going to do modifications there, I would like to see 2 parking spaces to make it legal. You're going to have to ask for a variance for 1 parking space, so. It's a special permit, so parking doesn't apply to it. Okay, so that's a good thing then. So it doesn't apply for a special permit?
It's already non-conforming use, so whatever you guys pass, that's,
But could we could make it a condition that they.
that's up to the board.
It's very difficult for me to find that the measurements here are correct, because when I was there today, your parking space is the side of the house there, it's saying, is that a better one that I can read the side of the house dimensions? feet 8. Seven, 8 to the grass, and the house is jogged out, so you couldn't have a parking space, even a tandem parking space.
So this is one side, okay. So still have. If there-
The surveyor was,
Yeah,
do you know if your surveyor used pinpoints, or how did he do the survey for your lot? Did someone come out and do a survey, or did they just take your existing plot plan and make your plan?
No, they did survey, yes.
They come out and did a survey?
Yes, sir. I still have 13 feet here.
All right, anyone else have questions?
I have. Still I have 17 feet for parking, I think, there.
Almost 17 by 14.
17 by 14.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 9 by 18, but I thought you had 9 by 18, to be honest with you, from the curb cut to inside. That's why I'm questioning if the person did an actual survey of the property or just went by an existing plot plan. Because I did show I showed more than 9 by 18.
Michael, I think on the left side,
Yeah.
I was there earlier too. I didn't measure it, of course, but it looks like he can actually do tandem parking.
That's what I thought, but according to this, it's only 7/8. I think he's not going to the fence line. I think he's going to the shrubbery that's there.
That's there.
What? On the left side, right? Oh. I'd rather not take out the greenery.
You have other pictures.
I would like to, if it was I would like to see this to get actual,
Is there another picture? Where's the other picture?
there is I have a picture on my phone of it.
Yeah, it's just, no, this is too, this is different. This is different, but, yeah.
This is the picture on my phone that I took. So the house jogs out. The house does jog out a little bit.
So looking at the house, this is
But
the left side.
this is the left side. I thought that he would have the 9 by the 9, and then he could do 2 tandem parking spaces. I don't feel comfortable enough now, seeing that the survey that was done on this plot plan doesn't show that. I would like to find out, I'd like to continue it and find out if the survey has the actual, the right dimensions on it.
So he
A lot of times, they use the existing plot plan and don't do an actual survey.
So we should.
If they have the survey, if there's 9 feet wide, then we could put 2 parking spaces to the left and not have an issue.
So you need.
Now, I wish I had any there's no abutters or anybody here, so, do you live on the street? And where do you? Behind it. So, I'm asking a question as far as parking. I frequent the area there, but I'm not sure if there's a concern of parking in the street. The times I've been there, there's never been a lot of cars on that street, so maybe I'm just being overcautious. Oh, if you can just step up to the mic so that,
No, we're on Union Street, and so that property is behind our property, but on a manual, there doesn't seem to be much parking concern, because everybody kind of has their own driveway or garage. So I don't think there would be really a concern, at least from my perspective.
okay, and even on your street, it seems like there's.
On my street, there really isn't either.
Yeah,
Everybody pretty
that's
much
what
has their
I
own
thought.
driveway.
Okay. And being the parking concern is, I think I'm trying to be overcautious. He will have 1 space there. It's 9 by 17. I measured 9 by 19, to be honest with you, because I was up there today. So I'm satisfied with the one space that will be there. Existing space is large enough. As far as the back of the property, I would make a stipulation that the shed be removed and not be relocated. It's a sort of a tight space there as it is, so that would be a condition that I would want placed on it if the board chooses to vote in favor of this. Any other members wish to speak? Then Ashley, if you would just present that with the condition and the standard conditions that the board asked for, and to grant, as long as the shed is removed and not replaced,
Yeah, shed have to be removed, sir.
but not replaced.
No, that's just trash, that's all.
Okay. So Ashley will present it.
Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested for the special permit subject to the following conditions? If the rights authorized by this special permit are not exercised within 2 years of the date of the grant of the special permit, the rights shall lapse. This special permit shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere. The appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. And lastly, the shed indicated on the site plan as presented shall be removed and not relocated. Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes, Mr. Lopes? Yes, Mr. O'Brien? Yes, Mr. Pelton is absent. Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has been granted.
Thank you.
You have to wait until you get a letter from the city clerk's office, so don't do anything until you get the letter, okay?
Okay, sir, thank you.
Next application is A2320. This is also a special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Rosa Greco, 48 Jones Road, requesting a special permit from the ZBA in accordance with the revised ordinances of the City of Revere, Section 17-40040, to enable the appellant to modify and extend a non-conforming two-family structure by constructing a one-story addition, 20-foot by 24.2 foot to the rear of the existing structure at 48 Jones Road.
Please step,
Good
press
evening,
name and
everyone.
address for the record.
My name is Rosa Greco, and I live at 607 Lynn Street, and I own the property at 48 Jones Road.
Okay, seeing that this is a public hearing, I would ask if there's any other proponents. Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Now, the ward councillor, I would ask that she speak first, and she's right behind you, so she'll come up to the microphone.
Oh, sure.
Hi, Joanne McKenna, Ward 1 Councilor. I just viewed this, I didn't even know this was on the agenda. I just viewed this property. I went down there today and looked at it, and it's a postage stamp where they want to put another building. And as you know, Beachmont's had this fair share of fires because we're so close together. And I just suggest that we don't vote for this because I just think it's a safety issue. I don't believe that we should add any more structures to buildings, and especially in Beachmont when we're on top of each other. If there is a fire, then, 6 or 7 houses can go up just like on Endicott Ave. So I'm totally against this. Thank you.
Are there any other opponents? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
How you doing, sir? Eric Tomasini, 19 Wave Ave, Unit 2. I'm here representing the trustees of the 19 Wave Ave Condo Association. We're directly behind the building. Our concerns are, like the councilor said before, is it's very congested back there. There are currently no other buildings, in our backyard that are that close to the fence line that they're proposing for this addition. We have a garden back there, and we're kind of concerned that they're going to be encroaching upon our property line a little bit too close. That could potentially shade out some of that garden. we, as part of the condo association, we're very involved in the community. We've done some tree planting in the area, avid proponents of the city here. And, I speak on all 4 unit owners there. I'm here representing all of them, and they all kind of oppose this, and they will throughout the whole process. If there's any way that they could, reduce the structure, we'd be okay with that. But I think the size of it and the extent of it is concerning. The other thing that kind of caught our attention in the letter is this is a non-conforming 2-family structure that they're looking to renovate. So I'm not quite sure what that means by non-conforming, if it's zoned as a 2-family or not, and what they're trying to achieve by enlarging the structure, if they're looking for a variance to make this a conforming 2-family. But basically, it encroaches upon, our property line, our backyard. It could possibly shade our garden that we have back there, and not only that is the noise and being that close to our property line. We don't feel that's acceptable. Thank you. I have a letter here, if you'd like me to present this to you. that
The
we wrote
letter
to-
was presented to us via an email, I believe.
An email? Okay.
It was.
You have that. Okay, thank you very much.
I just had a look at one thing here. So 19, you're directly behind this? Exactly behind it? Because I was questioning the unit in 15, but 19, you're directly behind it, okay. $17,300. Okay. The applicant has the right to ask for a continuance because one vote would knock this out. It's seeing that we have one member missing here tonight, the applicant could ask for continuance. In doing that, the applicant could also meet with the abutters and maybe come up with a better plan. If otherwise, we can vote on this, but one vote will deny this, and then it's 2 years before you can come back in front of the Board of Appeals. Am I correct, Ashley? Because we do have a member absent. You could ask for continuance to our next meeting, which will take place in July. And by then, if you want to continue it to the same way, at least you have the option of having other members here to vote. Or perhaps you can meet with the ward councilor and the abutters and maybe come up with another plan.
Yes, I would like to continue this. That property has been in my family for over 60 years, and I grew up there. I've seen many people that have lived in that area has left, and I am still there. Well, not me, but I have placed my children to live there, and that's all I want to do is continue to keep my children living there and had a bedroom. I'm not looking for more, just that. The other thing is, I'm staying in a line of all the other properties. I'm not going beyond the line of where the other houses. So I'm keeping myself back enough so that I can give everybody space, and someone can actually give me some too, so that I may be able to have a bedroom for another child that my daughter happened to have.
Okay, so there is a motion to continue. I would ask for a roll call, please.
Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant a continuance to the next meeting of July 26th? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien? Yes. Mr. Pelton is absent, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this matter will be continued.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Next application is A2321, Leo Chiavuzzo, 18 Cabral Drive, Middleton, requesting variances relative to minimum side yard, front yard, and building coverage to enable the appellant to convert a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling at 59 Larkin Street.
Mr. Chairman, board members, James Cipolletta, 385 Broadway, Revere, on behalf of the appellant. For the record, Mr. Chairman, please, if I may note that since the time of the filing of this application, a license to sell the premises was granted by the probate court, and Leo has taken title now in his own name. He made the application as a party in interest, having an agreement pending, subject to a license by the court, and he would have had standing then. He does have standing now, since he owns the property. So I wanted to make that clear on the record, and as soon as I have the book and page back from his counsel, I would forward that to the city. It's probably going to be forwarded to the assessors in any event. So, Mr. Chairman and honorable members, this application by Leo is to take what is probably the smallest house in the area, a little bungalow that at one time was probably a fun house, but really not anymore. It doesn't stand to be compatible with the neighborhood, and is reaching out and begs sort of to be improved. So the plans that Mr. Chiavuzzo has developed, essentially, although it's requiring relief on the front yard and the left and right side yards, none of what he is doing in building on substantially the existing foundation is increasing the encroachment into either one of those side yards. So what his plan is to demolish substantially the existing house. He needs to leave that foundation. It's well embedded into and become part of the lot. So he's going to build on that foundation. So on the right-hand side, with regard to the front yard setback, nothing is going to change. He's not increasing the encroachment, and he's not making. He's not made to ask for any further relief than he would have if he were dealing with the existing structure. So to that extent, that would explain why he is requesting and is requiring a front yard setback, because that's where the front foundation wall is. The right side setback is where the right side of the existing foundation is. To deal with the left side, however, the board will notice that in the plans that Leo has submitted, there is a shed that is in the rear, the left rear of the lot, and it is in proximity to the rear wall of the existing structure. Now that's going to be demolished, and as the plan shows, the new structure as extended will not encroach into the left yard setback any further than the existing shed does now. So with regard to whether or not Mr. Chiavuzzo is actually creating any further violations of the setbacks, I would say that in a practical sense he's not, although in a legal sense, because the building would not be built so as to pull back from those setbacks, he does need those variances. So those are the things that are being removed and what is being built over it. Because he is encompassing the area where the shed is, he's building out the back and across the laterally now to the left-hand side, and then up again to meet the line of the existing rear wall of the foundation. That's where we come into the calculus of lot coverage. So it's filling in that blank space that exists now between the shed and the existing structure. So he's pretty much squaring that off. He's not going any further into the rear yard than what is occupied by the shed, but I'm not sure that that's one of the variances that would be required by site plan review as indicated in their report. But nonetheless, he's staying within a very geometrically sort of, I don't know, equal type footing. If you could just draw a square around what's existing there, that's actually what he is building. Parking is always an issue, and whether it's in this neighborhood and I did take a ride by, and I'm sure the chair did because I'm quite familiar with his habits, that might have noticed that, parking, if there were a full house in that neighborhood, might be stressed. But Mr. Scavuzzo has successfully been able to accommodate 4 cars on the left-hand side of the house. Now, this being a two-family, it would be presumed that the front and back of one stack of cars, like on the left, would go to one side of the house or one apartment, and the one on the right would be just as if this was a driveway. So if you could picture these as 2 independent driveways, so you're not having somebody from the left front corner trying to jockey a car from somebody from the right rear corner or something like that. These would actually be stacked as if they were independent driveways. And they do meet the 9x18 requirement of the Revere Code. What is the hardship? So what happens is that we have a foundation that is where it is. And this is where, rationally and financially and in keeping with the harmony of the neighborhood, this house needs to be built. Moving that foundation is impractical. It wouldn't do any good for the neighborhood to try to move that one way or another, because this is where the current house is. And to the extent that he's actually carved out a spot on the left-hand side for those four cars, he would not be able to, I would suggest, be able to meet the parking requirement if he somehow were able to dig that foundation completely out and then try to center the house so that he met all of the dimensional regs, which he probably couldn't do anyway because of the narrowness of the lot. I know that the chair has asked of other applicants and appellants whether or not the ward councilor has been contacted and whether we've discussed this. We have. I spoke with Councilor Cogliandro last week. He told me that I could represent, that he has no problem with this, and he indicated that he would so advise the chair. I don't know whether he has or not, but that is what I've done. Leo has also spoken to a number of the neighbors there in the immediate abutters and abutter to abutters. He seems to think that he got a fairly favorable welcome. I don't see that we've gotten any feedback or questions from any of the neighbors about it, or any rise of a negative or an objection. But if there were concerns, we certainly would we'd be amenable to addressing them, as Leo had actually canvassed the neighborhood to try to ferret out some of that. So if there are any questions regarding the zoning, I'd be happy to answer them. With regard to construction, Mr. Scavuzzo actually is a builder, and he would be able to give the board a pretty good rundown on the means and manner of construction and what he plans to do. The floor plans are included in the filing package, and again, the hardship and the weighed against the detriment to the neighborhood. I see that there is a hardship, but no detriment to the neighborhood. And this would have to be, of course, built to modern current-day code, which we can probably bet that the house sitting there on this date is not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Seeing there's a public hearing, are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Anyone opposed? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. I am concerned that with the neighbor to facing the house, it would be to the left, because you'll be right up to the property line here with the parking. Have you spoken to the person, I believe it's 85, Don't quote me on that, 55 maybe? I'm trying to think of the number right next to you, to the
Mr. Chairman,
left.
would that be the one with the brick facade in the picture? I'm sorry.
Our picture's not, is black and white, so it's kind of hard. Thank you. That would be, that's correct. That's correct.
No, I haven't. I've knocked on multiple doors, tried to introduce myself to a bunch of the neighbors, but wasn't able to successfully meet those people.
Because I'm concerned with I was up there today and I was up there last week, but today I spent more time at that property because in all actuality, it's not 9 by 18. So I'm wondering how you're getting 9 by 18 where the house jogs out almost 4 inches.
There's a floor plan that I put together, and there's a section of the house that's going to be removed.
So you're taking the jog that's in this current
Correct.
picture,
Correct.
you're removing that?
Yes.
So that is how you're getting
Yeah, that
the
reflects.
9 by 18?
Yeah, that reflects in the drawings that I submitted.
Okay.
That was part of the filing package, Mr. Chairman. It may have been at the end, but that is part of the filing package.
Oh, I understand, I'm just
Oh,
wanted,
sorry.
you can give anything in black and white
I'm sorry, yeah.
and not show the jog. I want to make sure that that jog is not.
That's the colored one?
Yep.
Here. And then you can see here.
All righty, thank you. I looked at it online, but I wanted to make sure that that was removed. And then there'll be no shrubs, so you're going to be right up to the fence as far as the lot line goes for parking.
I would say kind of like what's there now. It would kind of be similar, maybe like a 1-foot strip of, it's very minimal is what it would be.
Okay. The only thing that concerned me was that the ward councilor did voice that he wanted to make sure that the neighbors were spoken to.
Yeah.
And the neighbor to the left, I don't know if they own or rent, but I have a concern that the direct abutter to your left should, in all good faith, be spoken to let them know that you're going up to the property line and having four parking spaces there. Were they notified, Ashley, did we get anything back or anything, or how do you know if they were?
Is it a renter or a owner?
That I don't know, because I tried to knock too, and there was no response.
Yeah, I've gone a couple of times.
I just want to go on the GIS and
Okay.
check their address.
Because that was the only concern that was raised to me, is that one property. I mean, I was around there, other people were, nope, they're gonna make it better. no
I've
problem.
gone during the day, so
Yeah.
and I didn't go at nighttime and knock on doors.
It's the brick house to the left, I don't know if there's a pool, I can't see a pool.
Is that number 65? If you're looking at the left of the house?
What's this parcel? Is this parcel, what's the legal address for this parcel you're going at? 50,
That's 65.
65, so it's to the left of that, which I thought was like,
No, I didn't get anything back for that address, so that individual must
They-
have received notice.
they were received notice, okay. As long as they were received notice, I don't have an issue. You did make good faith in going to all the neighbors, you did speak to some, that was the,
2 or 3 different occasions.
okay.
Because when I purchased the property over a month ago, I've been there cutting the grass, trying to maintain the property up until now.
Now, is this property going to be owner occupied, or is this property going to be sold?
I develop properties. I just did 3 in Winthrop that I'm selling 2, keeping 1. I got 4 more in Revere that I'm in the process of building, and I'm going to keep all 4 of those. So I don't know what I'm going to do at this
Okay.
point with these.
I haven't seen your construction or anything, so I don't know how good of a builder you are.
Yeah.
That is a nice parcel, so I would hope you'd put something nice there. I would like to make a motion to approve with our restrictions, our standard restrictions, and in hopes that you would at least, in the meantime, speak to that tenant next
100%.
door. They were notified, so they were legally, we didn't get anything back, so I'm satisfied that they were notified. I'd ask for a roll call.
Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested subject to the following conditions? If the rights authorized by this variance are not exercised within 1 year of the date of the grant of this variance, the rights shall lapse. This variance shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere. And the appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien? Yes. Mr. Pelton is absent. Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the variance has been granted.
So our next meeting will be July 26th, am I correct? At 5 p.m. Hope everyone has a great July 4th.
You as well, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for your time.